Hello, everyone, and welcome to our final section of this class. This section was all about e-learning and social media and how to incorporate that into your classroom and kind of what that looks like. Um, so once again, it's a great time to be talking about this with everything that's happening right now. Um, so just first and foremost, our prompt from my perspective as a teacher, evaluate the role of social media in society and then kind of compare and contrast the benefits and drawbacks of using social media in the classroom. So first of all, just what is e-learning? So obviously right now it looks a little bit different and we're on the more drastic end of things, but e-learning is just a kind of a broad term that encompasses all learning that involves technology in any way. Because technology is much more powerful and easier to use and kind of more prevalent today, um, we as teachers have been able to kind of mix and match um, teaching media, content, instructional methods, and different models and that sort of things. But really, overall, e-learning is simply just involving technology um, into our teaching. Uh, so obviously right now it looks a little bit different. So that's all we're doing right now. So I just kind of wanted to show you what it looks like right now for me, and kind of the things that I've been using to help my students be successful. So we use Zoom, and we use that, we were lucky enough that our school bought the privacy um, special version of Zoom, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Um, but we use Zoom for our staff meetings. I use Zoom to meet with my kids once a day, and it's just a really great way for me to see their faces and kind of check in on them and make sure they know what they're supposed to be doing. If they have any questions on our assignments, if they need to see any examples, that sort of thing. Then we have Google Classroom. That's where all of our assignments are. We're a very Google school. And so we use kind of Google Classroom for everything. So I have both of my classes set up on Google Classroom so that way my students know that's where they need to go to do their assignment for the day. We also have been introduced to Google Meet, which is kind of like Zoom. I've been able to do some of my IEP meetings through Google Meet and they have worked out well. Um, and then Screencast-O-Matic, I've used a lot. So thank you, Dr. Cantu, for introducing me to that tool. But I use Screencast-O-Matic to pre-record my lessons. So especially for math, I will kind of record my lesson or what they're going to be looking at and learning for that day, and then I upload it onto Google Classroom and onto my website so that they can see um, or watch the video before they then do the assignment. So that's been a nice tool as well. And then I really rely heavily on my website. As you can see, you can pull it up, and my students have to do is click on the day that they um, are working on. So today's May 4th, so they would just click on May 4th. Obviously, it's Star Wars Day, so I had to incorporate that. So May the Force be with you. But as you can see, they can click on each subject. So this is what they need to do for reading. Um, this is what they need to do for our writing or in grammar. So they're working on a vocabulary today. And then for math, this is what they need to do. And all of the links are kind of embedded so that they can just click on what they need to look for. So that's kind of what e-learning for me looks like right now. It's definitely a lot different than what we've been used to. It's definitely more drastic, but that's kind of what it looks like. Now moving into social media. Um, so we might want to use social media in the classroom just to kind of capitalize on technologies that many students already use in their realms of life. So it's really kind of more relevant to me since I teach middle school. All of my students have cell phones, which is crazy because I definitely didn't have one, and I'm not that old. But yeah, all my students have cell phones, so it's kind of been like, why not use what they use the most and that sort of things. So also we want to use social media to kind of engage in current instructional trends and kind of the belief that social media will motivate students. Um, so yeah. And I love this table that Dr. Cantu had on his slides. It kind of just talks about this popular social media tools and their educational uses, and then I kind of added some more that I thought maybe are kind of relevant today as well. So just going through Facebook, Blogger, Twitter, LinkedIn, that could be kind of used more for high school. I feel like my middle school kids would not know what to do with that. YouTube is huge, wiki, so making their own websites, and that sort of thing. Um, I like to use blogs with my kids so that they can reply to one another. We use YouTube all the time. They love to make their own videos. And I used Wiki a lot for when we were researching different countries and they had to make their own country website. So they really enjoyed making their own web page. So that's kind of how I used them in my classroom. Some other really big social media platforms right now are TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, and Flipgrid. So just finding appropriate ways to incorporate that into the classroom as well. Some advantages of using social media. When used as an instructional tool, social media has the potential to open up classroom experiences, make it fun for the kids, making them more learner-centered and expanding um, the learning outcomes. It can be used to support learning interactions among the students. They can collaborate or with people outside of the class as well. It can be used to seek feedback and critique, um, to enable greater within class communication, like I said, extend boundaries of the classroom. And it's really a way that students can be creative. They can use what they want, give them a choice, and allow them to kind of explore those different things. There also can be problems. Unexpected events can occur, things cannot work, that sort of thing. It may be hard to find ways to minimize stress on learners by helping them learn how to use it. So, not all of our kids know how to use these things. And so, they might be stressed and be like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. So, just working with them and trying to figure that out. It can really be a distraction if students are not using it appropriately. And privacy is huge. You need to make sure that your students are being safe and that the platform you're using is also safe as well. So those are just some problems that could occur. But overall, I think for the older grades, um, it could be a great tool. Social media could be a great tool in enriching the classroom experience and that sort of thing. So that's kind of how I looked at this week. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to hear from you soon.